Under the shadow of the iconic Louvre Pyramid in Paris, an extraordinary scene unfolded. Hundreds of women stood together, topless, with painted slogans and powerful placards in their hands. Their voices echoed through the heart of the city, chanting, "Femme, vie, liberty, woman, life, freedom." This wasn't just a protest, it was a declaration of war. A war against the unspeakable violence that continues to plague women in France. November 25, 2024, marked the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. On this day, FEMEN activists, a global women's rights group, chose a bold and controversial approach to spotlight the horrifying realities of gender-based violence. Among the powerful signs, messages like "Stop the War on Women" and "Freedom of Life for Women" demanded attention. But why were these women protesting topless? Why such a bold display in the heart of Paris? Their rage was fueled by the chilling case of Gisèle Pellicot, a woman whose story shook the conscience of a nation. For nearly a decade, Gisèle endured unimaginable torment at the hands of her husband, Dominique Pellicot, a man she trusted for 50 years. Dominique Pellicot, now 71, is no ordinary criminal. A former electrician, he drugged his wife into unconsciousness and facilitated her rape by at least 70 strangers, 70. And as if this horror wasn't enough, he recorded these assaults and distributed them. Prosecutors have described this as one of the most shocking cases of gender violence in recent French history. Dominique, who is now facing multiple charges, including rape, gang rape, and invasion of privacy, stood before the court and confessed, chillingly stating, "I am a rapist, just like all the others in this room." But why did he do it? What drives a man to betray and destroy the very person he promised to protect? In court, Dominique revealed his motives, a twisted combination of rejection and his own unresolved trauma. Cut to Dominique's court quote on screen, "My wife and I discussed swinging, but she didn't agree, so I drugged her." He confessed to drugging his wife because she refused to indulge his desire to open their marriage to partner swapping. A boundary she said became a reason for a decade of unspeakable betrayal. For Gisèle, this trial wasn't just about seeking justice, it was about reclaiming her voice. In a rare decision, she chose to have a public trial, breaking the silence around her trauma. With courage that inspired the nation, she spoke, "For 50 years, I lived with a man whom I trusted completely, someone I never suspected for a single moment could commit such acts. I had absolute confidence in him." As Gisèle left the courtroom, applause erupted. It was a moment of solidarity, a reminder that her pain was shared by countless others who had endured the violence of those they once trusted. Anne-Cécile Mailfet, president of Fondation des Femmes, described the case as a symbol of the worst that male violence can inflict. She emphasized how Gisèle's story sheds light on the systemic violence faced by women across the world. The topless protests in Paris weren't just about Gisèle, they were about the thousands of women who suffer in silence, their stories untold and their pain ignored. November 25th was not just a protest, it was a revolution. A revolution demanding justice, safety, and freedom for women everywhere. With placards in hand and courage in their hearts, these women delivered a message loud and clear: stop the war on women. And as their chants echoed through Paris, they reminded the world that silence is no longer an option. The fight for women's rights is far from over, and the battle for justice must continue, until no woman ever has to suffer in silence again. Giselle Pellicott's story is one of pain, betrayal, and resilience. It is a reminder of the horrors some endure, but also of the power of solidarity and action. The world may have failed Giselle for years, but today, her voice is unshaken. And her story, like the stories of so many others, will not be forgotten. If you or someone you know is a victim of violence, don't stay silent. Reach out. Together, we can stop the war on women.